Let us explore the unsolved mysteries in today's video. Controversies involving the Pope. Among the countless stories once shrouded in the shadows of the Vatican, one of the most controversial topics is directly related to the decisions made by Pope Pius XII during World War II. Archbishop Sergio Pagano, with rare candor, did not hesitate to confront these sensitive issues in his book. He raised the profound question of Pope Pius XII's silence during the Holocaust, a time when millions of Jews were brutally killed across Europe. Many historians have criticized that, as the spiritual leader of hundreds of millions of faithful, Pius XII could have spoken out more forcefully to condemn the atrocities committed by the Nazis. Pagano agrees that the Pope's caution had its reasons. He feared for the safety of the Catholic community in Germany and worried about possible reprisals if the Vatican openly opposed Hitler. Yet Pagano also points out that even after the war ended and the truth of the genocide was revealed, Pius XII never truly spoke out to share in the pain of the Jewish community. This continued to fuel debate and left a blemish in the modern history of the Church. Under pressure from scholars and the public, the Vatican decided to open documents related to the era of Pius XII so that researchers could seek answers to questions that had been buried for decades. This move marked a significant shift in the approach to history and demonstrated a desire for greater transparency and openness to the world. Going further, Pope Francis proactively changed the name of the archives from Secret Archive to Vatican Apostolic Archive. This renaming was not merely symbolic, but also a clear message to all that the Vatican is ready to face its past, ready for history to be viewed more objectively, and ready for the Church's greatest secrets to be illuminated by the light of truth. The mysterious crystal vessel containing ancient poison in Scotland. Hidden deep beneath the cold earth of Galloway, a strange treasure was discovered in 2014, attracting the attention of archaeologists from all over the world. Among the most valuable items, one stands out: a transparent crystal vessel, meticulously carved and wrapped in exquisite strands of gold. This is considered a masterpiece of Roman-era craftsmanship. On the bottom of the vessel, there is an ancient inscription recording the name of the jeweler and the person who commissioned it, a rare mark that reveals its special value to its owner. Unlike any other vessel ever found in European treasures, this crystal bottle once contained a mysterious liquid, which might have been perfume, holy oil, or a rare medicinal substance reserved only for royalty and the priestly class. After centuries buried underground, most of the liquid is evaporated and dissolved into time, leaving behind only the tiniest traces clinging to the walls of the vessel. These remaining marks have now become the key to unlocking the mystery of an ancient poison, which may once have played an important role in solemn rituals or in traditional Roman medicine. To decode the origin and true use of the liquid that once existed in the vessel, scientists at the National Museum of Scotland have cooperated with leading chemistry experts. They use modern analytical methods such as mass spectrometry and microextraction, carefully isolating each tiny particle left on the wall of the vessel in hopes of finding clues about the ingredients, as well as the formula behind this poison, which was considered extremely valuable in the past. Each specimen is tested and compared with ancient records of medicines, perfumes, and holy oils used in religious rituals. Scientists are interested not only in the possibility that this was a secret healing medicine, but also propose the hypothesis that it could have been a substance for embalming mummies or an ingredient in some mysterious coronation ceremony. While analysis results are still pending, that small crystal vessel has become a symbol of a glorious era, where mysteries of knowledge and power were skillfully hidden within a fragile but proud shell. Each new discovery about the remnants inside the vessel not only opens up the story of a distant age, but also brings us closer to the secrets of ancient people, those who knew how to preserve their strength and faith with poisons that, to this day, we still cannot fully explain. The cave shared by Neanderthals and modern humans. In the journey to uncover the origins and development of humanity, new discoveries from prehistoric times never fail to astonish archaeologists and mankind alike. Recently, a significant finding in southern France has partially rewritten the ancient history of Europe and revealed a mysterious new chapter in the relationship between Neanderthals and modern Homo sapiens. Previously, researchers believed that Homo sapiens, our direct ancestors, only appeared in Europe around 44,000 years ago. However, new evidence found at Mandarin Cave has overturned this assumption. After more than 3 decades of excavation and analysis, archaeologists have determined that modern humans set foot on the continent as far back as 54,000 years ago, which is a full 10,000 years earlier than science once thought. Mandarin Cave is not just a simple shelter nestled among rocky mountains, but a silent witness to the encounters, and even the struggle for survival, between these two ancient human branches. Here, the archaeological layers have revealed alternating traces of life left by both Neanderthals and Homo sapiens. They took turns occupying the cave for brief periods, leaving behind stone tools that clearly bear the unique marks of each group. Sharp blades, small spear tips, and finely crafted points are unmistakable signs of modern humans, while the Neanderthal artifacts reflect a more traditional style, rooted in skills honed over tens of thousands of years. Although they coexisted in the same era and shared Mandarin Cave as a temporary home, there was no evidence of cultural exchange between Neanderthals and Homo sapiens. They seemed to maintain clear boundaries in how they crafted tools and in their daily way of life. It is possible to imagine that after the first wave of modern humans arrived, they were unable to adapt to the harsh climate or were not strong enough to survive for long, and were quickly replaced by Neanderthals, the native inhabitants who were already familiar with the local environment. However, history did not end there. After a time, new groups of Homo sapiens continued to migrate into Europe, and this time they were able to endure, gradually leaving a stronger mark and eventually becoming the true masters of the continent. The discoveries at Mandarin Cave have not only opened a new perspective on the migration and survival journey of our human ancestors, but have also raised many questions about the interactions, conflicts, and replacement between the two most intelligent human species ever to walk the earth. Perhaps somewhere in the shadows of the past, the remaining traces still await, ready to tell us the full story of the dawn of humankind. The three-fingered alien. Bodies in Peru. The story of the three-fingered mummies discovered in Peru has ignited a wave of controversy among archaeologists and biologists worldwide. These bodies, with their unusually elongated skulls and hands that have only 3 fingers, immediately became the subject of heated debate about the possibility of extraterrestrial life as soon as they were made public. Most notable is the shocking claim by Dr. Konstantin Korotkov, a renowned Russian scientist. He asserted that he had conducted DNA tests on tissue samples taken from the mummies and concluded that the genetic structure of these bodies does not completely match any known human DNA samples ever recorded. According to Dr. Korotkov, the analysis showed that the DNA sequences of these bodies contained strange codes, featuring variations never before seen in either modern humans or ancient human population. He also emphasized that if these mummies did not originate from outside Earth, then at the very least, they represent a completely separate branch of evolution, one that does not fit into any biological system known to humanity. These statements have sharply divided the international scientific community, with one side considering this a revolutionary discovery, while the other vehemently rejects it, claiming the findings are simply the result of fabrication or errors in the testing process. Many reputable researchers from major archaeological institutions around the world argue that the three-fingered mummies are, in fact, the remains of ancient humans whose bones were deformed due to head-binding practices and generational changes in hand structure. However, others continue to believe in the possibility that these are extraterrestrial beings, or at the very least, mysterious creatures never before documented. To this day, the story of the three-fingered mummies in Peru remains unresolved. Debates about their true origins not only spark curiosity about the limits of modern science, but also fuel the desire to uncover the unanswered mysteries of history and extraterrestrial life. Are these bodies evidence of ancient civilizations from beyond our planet, or simply a new chapter in the long history of archaeological hoaxes? All of these questions are still waiting for definitive answers from future research. The VatiLeaks scandal. In 2012, a true earthquake shook the Vatican when the VatiLeaks scandal erupted, exposing the darkest depths within the world's most powerful church. It all began with a series of confidential letters being leaked to the outside world, revealing not only signs of corruption, but also calculated internal power struggles, covert bribes, and even threats against the Pope's own life. These documents, originally sent by high-ranking officials within the church, laid bare a picture of chaos behind those ancient walls. The revealed information pointed to shady expenditures, contracts inflated many times over, overlapping interests among top officials, and secret competitions for power and influence. Most notably, at the very heart of the affair were warnings about the risk of assassination targeting Pope Benedict XVI. creating an atmosphere of deep anxiety within the Vatican itself. The truth gradually came to light when the person behind the leaks was revealed to be none other than Paolo Gabriele, the Pope's devoted butler. He was arrested and brought to trial under the close watch of global media. At the trial, Gabriele explained that his motivation was to expose wrongdoing and to help return the church to its pure moral value. He was sentenced to 18 months in prison, but was ultimately pardoned by the Pope, closing a chapter that was both tragic and troubling for the Vatican. The consequences of the Vatileaks scandal did not end there. Many believe that the pressure from this scandal, combined with internal management difficulties, contributed significantly to the unexpected decision of Pope Benedict XVI to become the first pontiff in over 6 centuries to voluntarily resign. That event marked an unprecedented turning point, serving as a reminder to the world that even the most sacred and powerful symbols cannot escape the challenges of the age of transparency, when the truth will always find a way into the light, even in the most secretive places on earth. The pit of buried limbs. If there is any archaeological discovery that has truly sent a chill through both experts and the public, it is the mysterious pit of severed limbs found in 2012 in the village of Bergheim, near the French-German border. During an excavation in preparation for construction, archaeologists unexpectedly uncovered a pit more than 2 meters deep, filled with arms, hands, and other human body parts, all of which had lain there for 6,000 years. They called it Pit Number 157. A place where time seems to have frozen around an unspeakable event that has never been fully explained. When specialists conducted a thorough examination, they realized that the bones of the arms and hands all bore clear-cut marks, most of them having been severed by knives or stone axes. Even more disturbing, there were also the remains of children, adolescents, and adults, all showing signs of severe violence. Some traces suggest that these individuals may have been tortured before being thrown into the pit along with the dismembered limb. What really happened in Bergheim thousands of years ago? Theories have been put forward, ranging from warfare between Neolithic groups to brutal punishments for criminals, or even some grisly form of sacrificial ritual. Yet, there is no definitive evidence to confirm any specific cause, and the mystery remains unsolved. Perhaps this is just a fleeting glimpse of an era when violence and power were enforced in the coldest of ways, a time when human fate rested entirely in the hands of the strongest. This shocking discovery has not only forced archaeologists to rethink the level of brutality in European Neolithic societies, but it has also revealed a dark corner rarely mentioned in the history of human development. Beneath the peaceful fields of today, there still lie chilling secrets from the past, a reminder that human civilization has passed through times of profound darkness, and that sometimes a single pit of severed limbs is enough to leave history in silence. The cursed city of Chorazin. On the land of Galilee in Israel, among wild grassy hills and solemn ruins, there lies an ancient city called Chorazin, a place intertwined with one of the most mysterious and controversial stories in the history of Western religion. Chorazin was once a peaceful agricultural community, famous for its fertile wheat fields, traditional religious rituals, and small temples scattered along the hillsides. Yet the fate of this city took a completely different turn after it became associated with a curse believed to have come directly from Jesus himself. According to accounts in the Bible, Chorazin was one of 3 towns in the Gospel Triangle, places where Jesus once stayed, preached, and performed many miracles. But the people here did not believe in these wonders. They even turned away from his teachings. Because of this, Chorazin was cursed by Jesus. The Bible recounts that the curse was not merely words, it marked the beginning of an unprecedented series of disasters. The city was struck repeatedly by earthquakes, houses were destroyed, and residents had to leave everything behind and flee, until the land gradually faded into oblivion, overgrown with weeds and shrouded in darkness. This event left a deep mark on local consciousness, making Chorazin a symbol of disobedience and the consequences of rejecting the sacred. Today, visitors to Chorazin see only silent ruins, the traces of a city that once existed, flourished, and then collapsed in tragedy. There is no archaeological evidence confirming the existence of any supernatural curse, nor has anyone found traces of Jesus' presence here beyond what is recorded in the Bible. Still, the story of Chorazin continues to be passed down from generation to generation, serving as a profound warning about the choices people make when faced with miracles and faith. Whether legend or truth, Chorazin remains there as a symbol of the past, a deserted city leaving behind mysteries that continue to defy explanation. the Handbook for Covering Up Abuse. In the early 1960s, as the first waves of sexual abuse scandals began to surface within the Catholic Church, the Vatican issued a confidential document intended as a directive for bishops around the world. This document not only provided instructions on how to handle cases involving priests accused of abuse, but also demanded that all related information be kept strictly confidential. Anyone who revealed such information outside the church would face the harshest penalty, excommunication, meaning complete removal from the Catholic community. In keeping with the spirit of this Handbook for Cover-Ups, the entire process of reporting, investigation, or adjudication was carried out in absolute secrecy. Victims were instructed to remain silent, implicated priests were transferred to new parishes without explanation, and all sensitive details were buried deep within the Vatican's archive. It was only 40 years later, thanks to the tireless efforts of lawyers and victims, that this document was finally uncovered, sparking a wave of outrage across the globe. The exposure of the Handbook for Cover-Ups ignited fierce debate. Lawyers and activists called it a blueprint for secrecy, arguing that it was clear evidence of a system that prioritized protecting the church's reputation over delivering justice for victims. Many have said that this very document helped perpetuate a culture of silence, forcing generations of victims to endure pain in the shadow. The Vatican has since explained that the document was intended merely as internal guidance meant to safeguard the sanctity of the sacrament of confession, but the criticism has never truly subsided. Even today, the story of the Handbook for Cover-Ups remains one of the darkest stains in the history of the Catholic Church, a reminder that every effort to preserve an image must come after the truth, compassion, and justice for those who have been harmed. Natural cooling technology with clay pots in India. In the rural areas of India, where the summer sun can scorch the earth and temperatures soar beyond the limits of endurance, local people have preserved a simple yet enduringly effective secret for cooling, a tradition of using clay pot. Without the need for modern air conditioners or electricity, just a clay vessel and a source of clean water allow them to ease the oppressive heat and keep drinking water refreshingly cool, even in the height of summer. The secret lies in the principle of natural evaporation, a traditional technique passed down through countless generations. Clay pots, with their countless tiny pores on the surface, allow water from inside to slowly seep out through the wall. When this thin layer of water meets the hot air, it quickly evaporates, carrying heat away and leaving behind cool, pleasant water inside the pot. By placing several clay pots around the house, people not only have a supply of refreshing water, but also help lower the temperature of their entire living space, turning the home into a cool refuge during the burning midday heat. Beyond its practical effectiveness, this method is also remarkably environmentally friendly. Clay pots are made entirely from natural clay, creating no harmful waste and requiring no electricity to operate. Even their production demands careful craftsmanship and a deep understanding of traditional methods, turning each pot into a product that embodies the spirit and culture of the local community. Today, as climate change and energy crises have become global concerns, the natural cooling method of clay pots is being reconsidered as a sustainable, economical, and environmentally friendly solution. What our ancestors handed down is not just a set of survival skills over generations, but also a reminder of creativity, adaptability, and respect for the environment, values that any modern civilization would do well to reflect upon. The burning bouquet beneath the Pyramid of Mexico. Beneath the massive layers of stone of the pyramid in the city of Teotihuacan, Mexico, archaeologists were once astonished when they discovered the distinct traces of an ancient ritual. Deep within the intricate tunnel system, they found the remains of a bouquet of flowers that had been partially burned and still retained its shape after thousands of years buried in darkness. This discovery revealed one of the most sacred and mysterious practices ever performed by ancient people, carried out in hopes of fertility, life, and good fortune. According to many theories, thousands of years ago, women who carried immense hopes quietly prepared the most beautiful bouquet of fresh flowers they could find, then carefully ventured deep into the heart of the pyramid, a place where sunlight could not reach. Inside that sacred darkness, they placed the bouquet on the ground, lit it on fire, and sent all their longing to become mothers up to the god. The flames rose, and the scent of flowers mixed with the air, creating a mystical ritual for fertility that was emotional, mysterious, and deeply reverent. The image of the charred bouquet lying among the ruins of the pyramid is not only material evidence of an ancient ritual, but also a symbol of the yearning for life and the enduring spiritual power that transcends time. Through these remnants, today's scientists seem to hear the whispers of the past, reminding us of the powerful faith in the bond between humans and the gods, between life on Earth and the supernatural world. This discovery not only enriches our understanding of ancient customs in Central America, but also helps us see more deeply into the simple yet noble aspirations of our ancestors. Theories about extraterrestrial life. Theories about extraterrestrial life have always fascinated the curiosity of both the scientific community and those passionate about exploring mysteries. Recently, two particular stories related to Mars have stirred up considerable controversy and speculation regarding the possibility of life existing on the Red Planet. The first story began with an independent scientist who claimed that he had discovered images resembling worms and shrimp in photographs taken by NASA's Opportunity rover on the surface of Mars. According to him, these tiny structures scattered throughout the barren red soil were not inanimate objects, but living creatures, serving as evidence that life once existed and may even still exist on another world. He specifically compared these organisms to the species that live near hydrothermal vents at the bottom of Earth's oceans. However, the scientific community did not accept this claim. According to experts, what he saw were merely oddly shaped rocks, and the phenomenon of seeing animals here is actually a result of the human brain's tendency to recognize familiar patterns in chaos, a psychological effect known as pareidolia. NASA has also remained silent amid the controversy, leaving many questions for those who are drawn to unresolved mystery. Not stopping there, another discovery continued to cause a stir within the UFO hunting community. A photograph taken by a NASA satellite showed an impact crater on the Martian surface with a shape that resembled the face of a strange creature, especially its large, insect-like eyes and high, protruding forehead. Those who believe in extraterrestrial theories quickly asserted that this was the face of an alien, and even called it the insect-headed statue of the Martian people, convinced that it was a remnant left by an alien civilization. Nevertheless, scientists explained that this was entirely the result of natural geological processes, such as meteorite impacts and erosion by wind and water, rather than the work of any intelligent being. NASA also affirmed that this region had undergone many geological changes, which caused these strange shapes to appear on the surface, and that seeing faces in such craters is yet another classic example of pareidolia. Stories like these, though lacking in verified scientific evidence, still hold a unique appeal for the public. They not only raise questions about life beyond Earth, but also demonstrate the boundless imagination and desire for discovery that seem to have no limits in the human spirit. And who knows, perhaps one day, real evidence will be found, completely transforming our understanding of this vast universe. Ancient mummies and cheese in China. Amid the arid and harsh expanses of the Tarim Desert in northwestern China, archaeologists have unearthed mummies dating back as far as 3,500 years, opening up one of the strangest stories about human life in prehistoric time. Beneath the layers of dust and sand in this almost lifeless land, scientists not only discovered remarkably well-preserved skeletal remains, but also found a special trace covering the mummies, the oldest fragments of cheese ever known in the world. What astonished experts was not only that people thousands of years ago already had cheese, but also the level of refinement achieved in their production technique. Based on genetic analysis, specialists determined that the cheese here was of the naturally fermented variety, meaning the production process required neither modern equipment nor complex formulas like those of today, but instead relied entirely on the experience and deep understanding of microbiology possessed by these ancient communities. This not only demonstrated remarkable progress in food processing, but also proved the adaptability and creativity of people living in such harsh environments. The presence of cheese in these tombs also carries deep meanings related to spiritual beliefs and daily life. Cheese was not only used as a valuable food reserve, but was also sprinkled on the mummies themselves, serving as provisions for the afterlife, reflecting a belief in a long journey after death. This evidence has also helped scientists reconstruct a part of the picture of ancient cultural exchange, showing that techniques for processing milk and fermented products had already spread widely across the Eurasian continent, contributing to the connection between many ancient civilizations. The discovery of mummies and cheese in the Tarim Desert stands as a clear testament to the intelligence, skill, and persistent adaptability of ancient people, while also offering us the chance to gain deeper understanding of the mysteries of culinary history and human culture from the earliest time. The large Roman settlement and cemetery at Aylesbury, England. On the vast plains of Aylesbury, beneath the silent brown earth, lie the remarkable traces of a Roman settlement that existed 2 millennia ago. As archaeologists patiently turned over each layer of soil and stone, a complex story of an ancient community gradually emerged. The remains of a bustling residential area, together with a vast cemetery, have taken us back to the time when the Romans set foot on this land, bringing with them their customs, traditions, and tightly organized social system. What made this discovery truly stand out was the number of skeletons, up to 425 sets of remains, all buried in a cemetery that was almost untouched by the passage of time. Among them, about 40 skeletons were missing their heads, and experts quickly recognized this as one of the rare phenomena in Roman archaeology in Britain. Many of the skeletons were found with their skulls placed between their legs or at their feet. These details suggest 2 possibilities. It may have been a punishment for those regarded as criminals, or it could have been a special burial custom practiced by this community, something not commonly seen in the ancient Roman world. Beyond the mysteries of the funeral rituals, the cemetery was also divided into 2 distinct areas. Researchers believe that this division may reflect the diversity of ethnicities, families, or tribes within the community at that time. Such separation might have allowed each group to preserve its own identity and customs, and at the same time demonstrates the strong development of the settlement as waves of migration and agricultural expansion spread across this fertile land. The settlement and cemetery at Aylesbury not only provide deep insight into the way of life, beliefs, and social diversity of the Roman era, but also raise many unanswered questions about the relationships among different groups living together, about strange burial customs, and the profound meanings behind each ritual. The skeletons that remain underground serve as silent witnesses, waiting for modern humans to continue exploring, decoding, and connecting each fragment of the past from a once glorious civilization on the northern edge of the mighty Roman Empire. The ancient secrets of the Vatican. For centuries, the Vatican has remained at the center of great mysteries that the world has never truly unraveled. Hidden behind fortified doors and miles of archives are secrets that only a select few have ever had the chance to access. The keeper of this treasure is Archbishop Sergio Pagano, who has dedicated 45 years of his life to preserving, organizing, and safeguarding every sheet of paper and every file deep within the Vatican's wall. In his book Secretum, Pagano for the first time unveils stories that had long been buried under the dust of time. He not only recounts extraordinary events, but also brings readers closer to the inner workings of power that had previously existed only in rumor. One of the most surprising stories is the unexpected financial connection between the Vatican and Catholic churches in the United States. When Pope Benedict XV died in 1922, the Vatican faced a serious financial shortfall that threatened its ability to organize the crucial meeting to select the next pope. In the midst of this crisis, an urgent appeal was sent to the Vatican Embassy in Washington, and in a short time, American churches joined forces to donate more than $200,000, helping the Vatican overcome its most difficult moment. Thanks to this special financial resource, the papal conclave was able to proceed smoothly, resulting in the election of Pope Pius XI, marking a pivotal turning point in the relationship between the Vatican and the Catholic community in the United States. That connection did not stop at a single historic event, but became the foundation for a lasting financial relationship, one that has deeply influenced the activities of both sides throughout the past century. Under Pagano's careful stewardship, these secrets have not only been preserved, but have also been brought to life, revealing part of the truth about how the Vatican has maintained its influence with the outside world through many tumultuous years. These revelations only make people more curious about what remains hidden within the vast archives of the Vatican, where every page may contain a story that could change the course of human history. The missing years of Jesus. For 2,000 years, the life of Jesus has always been a subject of fascination, drawing generations of believers, scholars, and those who love historical mystery. Strangely, there remains a significant gap of nearly 2 decades that the Bible is completely silent about. Specifically, the period from when Jesus was 12 years old until he reappeared to begin his ministry at the age of 30. This silence has given rise to countless theories, legends, and intriguing stories that reach far beyond the boundaries of religion. Many believe that this missing period was when Jesus sought knowledge and spiritual training in distant lands. Some theories suggest that he once traveled to India, studying the profound philosophies of sages and yogis in the Himalayas, and even encountered Buddhist monks in Nepal or Tibet. Certain Western legends paint a vivid picture of a young Jesus journeying with his uncle, a merchant, across the sea to ancient Britain, where he is said to have studied with the Druid priests at Glastonbury. The stories do not end there. One tale claims that Jesus once traveled as far as Japan, living in seclusion as a philosopher, marrying and leaving descendants in a small northern village where locals still honor the Tomb of Christ as a sacred site. Across the ocean, Native American legends speak of a white teacher who healed the sick, spoke all languages, and performed miracles, causing many to imagine the presence of Jesus among the ancient cultures of the Andes and Central America. Although each theory carries its own unique color, they all share one thing in common. There is no solid historical evidence to support them. These stories remain vibrant through oral tradition, folklore, and sometimes the romantic imagination of later generations, but no archaeological discovery or ancient document has ever been convincing enough to sway the scholarly community. The mysterious years of Jesus thus become even more fascinating, like a legendary veil that every generation adds to, enriching the timeless allure of the most extraordinary figure in Christian history. The ancient pet cemeteries. Hidden beneath layers of time in Peru, archaeologists have discovered ancient cemeteries dedicated exclusively to dogs, one of the rare traces that reveal the special relationship between humans and their pets thousands of years ago. These sites stretch beneath the ground of present-day Lima, as well as in many lands that once belonged to the vibrant Chidbaya culture, long before Columbus set foot in the America. In these ancient cemeteries, many dogs were buried ceremoniously alongside their owners, wrapped in cloth, surrounded by toys, and sometimes even laid to rest with soft blankets, as if they were meant to continue guarding and keeping company with their loved ones in the afterlife. This respect for dogs reveals their indispensable role in ancient Peruvian life. They not only guarded homes and looked after livestock such as llamas, but were also faithful companions to humans in everyday activity. However, not all was peaceful. At some sites, archaeological evidence has revealed traces of mysterious sacrificial rituals. Notably, in an underground tomb beneath the Lima Zoo, many dog skeletons were found lying beside human remains. Only the humans showed signs of violent torture and death, while the dogs appeared to have been strangled in some kind of ceremony. Perhaps people chose to sacrifice their four-legged friends to send their souls on, or to pray for good fortune in the afterlife. A cultural feature blending native beliefs and pre-Columbian life, many scientists today are still working to unravel the mysteries of the origins of Peru's ancient dogs, searching for genetic links with native breeds that still exist today. These ancient cemeteries do not merely tell the story of a civilization's past, they also present a touching tale of affection, connection, and unresolved mysteries between humans and their most loyal companion. Alien cave art. As the sunset falls upon the sheer cliffs of the Colorado Plateau, one can still see strange paintings created by ancient hands thousands of years ago. On the red rock surfaces, figures appear with large, round eyes, bodies without arms or legs, and distinctly non-human shape. What is remarkable is that these motifs are found not only in North America but also on the cold rock faces of distant Siberia, where the same images are preserved. Unusual beings with deep, wide eyes, sometimes floating amid mysterious spiral shape. Archaeologists refer to these as alien cave art because they do not resemble any familiar life forms on Earth. Some researchers believe this was how ancient people depicted gods, spirits, or supernatural beings they believed once appeared among them. But for many, the extraterrestrial appearance of these images fuels a bold hypothesis. Could it be that humanity's ancestors once encountered visitors from elsewhere, or at the very least, witnessed strange, inexplicable phenomena with their own eyes? What is most astonishing is the incredible similarity between the paintings found in two places, separated by thousands of miles of geography, culture, and language. No one knows why Native Americans and Siberian tribes would create nearly identical images. Could there have been a mysterious exchange between prehistoric civilizations, or did humanity once share a collective memory of enigmatic events that occurred on Earth long ago? To this day, modern science has yet to fully unlock the secrets behind this alien cave art. But the more one gazes into those wide-open eyes on the rock faces, the more a mysterious sense of longing is felt. Ancient Roman mosaic in London. In the heart of modern London, where skyscrapers crowd together on historic ground, an unexpected discovery has left archaeologists and citizens alike amazed. Right beneath the shadow of the Shard, researchers uncovered a stunning Roman mosaic, a work of art that once adorned the dining room floor of a luxurious villa that existed 2,000 years ago. Through layers of earth and stone, the colors and intricate patterns have remained remarkably intact, like a silent greeting from the city's glorious past. This mosaic is impressive not only for its craftsmanship, but is also considered the largest ever discovered in London over the past half-century. The vivid motifs and the carefully placed small stones, arranged with calculated artistry, reveal the skillful hands of the Acanthus group, an atelier renowned for its distinctive style and mark in Roman mosaic art. Up close, one can sense the meticulousness and creativity of these ancient artists, who contributed to the splendor of a villa that once symbolized the prosperity of the Roman aristocracy in Londinium. The mosaic was not the only find. Archaeologists also unearthed many other valuable artifacts, from coins and jewelry to intricately decorated hairpins. All these are vivid evidence of a golden age, a time when grand banquets, music, and the glow of oil lamps blended with the laughter of Rome's upper class. These luxurious objects, along with the remains of the villa, provide a clear portrait of the pinnacle of life in a city that was once one of the most flourishing centers of the Roman Empire in Britain. Though time has swept away countless layers of dust, the remaining works of art continue to tell us stories of a brilliant past, where art and wealth walked hand in hand on every small stone beneath our feet. Prehistoric cave artists and the phenomenon of oxygen deprivation high. When we gaze at the rock paintings left behind by our distant ancestors, few of us can truly imagine what it felt like for those first people who ventured deep into the darkness to create these masterpieces of art. In the Paleolithic era, tens of thousands of years ago, humans journeyed far into wild, untouched caves, carrying torches to light their way as they painted mysterious images on the stone wall. However, scientists have recently discovered something remarkable. This very act put them into an altered state of consciousness. As torches burned quietly in the confined spaces, the oxygen in the air gradually depleted. Ancient people did not understand chemistry, but they were well aware of one thing. Every time they spent long hours in the cave, they began to feel lightheaded, with sensations that became strange, sometimes even hallucinatory, or a sense of being detached from reality. Researchers call this phenomenon hypoxia, a state of oxygen deprivation that makes the brain feel as though it has entered another world. Some people may experience feelings of warmth, euphoria, or even see extraordinary visions before their eyes. No one knows for sure whether this was accidental or if they actively sought out these experiences. But clearly, in this altered state of consciousness, imagination and emotion reached their peak, driving them to record on the cave walls what they saw or felt. It can be said that the harsh environment and unique experiences within the caves helped to shape the very first works of human art. From there, images of animals, hunting scenes, and even spiritual symbols were born, not only reflecting daily life, but also revealing the mysterious inner world of ancient people. Each line drawn on the rock is a slice of history, a testament to human intellect, and the product of those strange moments when art and nature blended together in the thousand-year darkness of the Earth's depth. The sacrificial pits in China. In the heart of Sichuan, archaeologists have unearthed one of the most astonishing discoveries in the history of ancient China: 6 sacrificial pits filled with priceless artifacts from thousands of years ago. As each layer of earth and stone was removed, brilliant golden masks, exquisitely crafted bronze statues, and countless beautiful jade objects gradually appeared, revealing clues to a mysterious ritual once carried out by the ancient Shu civilization on a scale never seen before. The large golden masks, many of them bearing strange shapes and patterns, were once solemnly placed underground along with hundreds of bronze and jade relics. Experts believe these were offerings used in large-scale sacrificial ceremonies of the Shu Kingdom, a dynasty that once flourished on the banks of the Yangtze River but left very few traces in historical record. What makes this discovery even more intriguing is that no human remains were found in the pits, adding another layer of mystery to the ritual. Some theories suggest that the Shu people cremated those chosen for sacrifice, reducing them to ashes before placing them, along with the treasures, into these deep pits as a way to send both souls and valuables to the realm of the gods. The masks, bronze statues, and jade objects not only display extraordinary craftsmanship, but also carry profound religious meaning. The faces, carefully shaped, radiate a supernatural aura with large eyes and solemn expressions, as if serving as a bridge between humans and supernatural forces. Each golden mask remains an unsolved mystery, embodying the beliefs, fears, and aspirations to commune with the divine that ancient people once held. Today, the sacrificial pits at the Sanxingdui site stand not only as witnesses to the wealth and development of the Shu civilization, but also raise countless questions about the enigmatic spiritual rituals that once took place there. It is this very mystery that continues to captivate both researchers and history enthusiasts, opening up a journey to unravel the supernatural ceremonies that ruled the minds of humans thousands of years ago. The Nazi prisoner of war camp in England during World War II. Amid the peaceful fields of Oswestry, near the Welsh border, archaeologists have unexpectedly discovered traces of a Nazi prisoner of war camp that once existed during World War II. This camp may have once held as many as 2,000 prisoners, a number large enough to turn the site into a small, isolated community in the heart of wartime England. Today, as old foundations and scattered artifacts gradually emerge from the earth, a vivid picture of life inside the camp is coming to light like never before. Far from the grim images often associated with wartime prison camps, this site actually featured relatively comfortable living conditions. The camp was equipped with electricity, had hot water for daily use, and the prisoners could participate in a variety of sports activities, enjoy musical performances right inside the camp, and even attend a school set up for younger inmates. They were also given the opportunity to work in trades such as carpentry and other occupations, creating the sense of a miniature society operating in the midst of war. Nevertheless, life in this prisoner of war camp was not entirely peaceful. Through the remaining traces, the archaeological team uncovered evidence of violence, and even attempted escapes and simmering uprising. It is clear that, despite the living conditions being more comfortable than expected, tension and anxiety still hung over daily life in the camp. One noteworthy discovery is the intact dog tag of a German soldier, which survived decades underground. This is not only physical evidence, but also a valuable clue for researchers seeking to trace the identities, backgrounds, and fates of those who once lived behind the barbed wire. By continuing to excavate and study this site, archaeologists hope to reconstruct the daily lives of the prisoners and the guards, people caught up in the whirlwind of one of the most brutal wars in human history, the bark shield of the Iron Age in England. Amid the peaceful English countryside, an archaeological discovery has completely changed our understanding of military art and technology during the Iron Age. The Enderby shield, the only known shield made entirely from tree bark, more than 2,300 years old. Unlike the familiar image of heavy metal or solid wooden shields, the Enderby shield stands out thanks to the ingenuity and ahead-of-its-time creativity of ancient craftsmen. The structure of the shield is a testament to a deep knowledge of natural materials and the art of combining them. Instead of using thick, solid wood, people of the past chose the bark of various trees, such as apple, pear, birch, and even hawthorn, to form the base layer. These strips of bark were bent, arranged, and pressed tightly into the main frame, then stitched together with grass fibers and supple twigs to increase the cohesion and flexibility of the entire shield. Along the outer rim, the seams were firmly stitched with braided grass, both enhancing the shield's appearance and protecting the edges from peeling over time. A striking highlight that cannot go unmentioned is the elaborate decoration, with red checkered patterns across the face of the shield, a vivid artistic touch, reflecting both the aesthetic sense and the pride of its owner. At the center, the handle was made of sturdy wood, covered with a thick braid that helped protect the hand in battle while ensuring a secure grip during use. Previously, many researchers doubted that a bark shield could be durable enough for real combat. However, through modern analysis and experimental reconstruction, experts have found that this type of shield was entirely capable of withstanding powerful blows and even resisting the sharp weapons of its time. Lightweight, flexible, and easy to replace, the Enderby shield is a prime example of technological diversity and the effective use of available resources by ancient Britain. The appearance of this one-of-a-kind bark shield not only sheds light on the mysteries of Iron Age weaponry techniques, but also highlights the creativity, artistic sensibility, and warrior spirit of the ancestors of this misty land. A humble yet proud legacy, it carries a message about the diversity and ingenuity of humanity from ages past. The ruins of Leptis Magna. Lying quietly on the shores of the Mediterranean, Leptis Magna was once a shining jewel of ancient North Africa. This city was not only the pride of the Carthaginians, but also served as one of the most bustling commercial centers under Roman rule. Its straight stone-paved streets, vast squares, and countless magnificent architectural works once brought together merchants from across the Mediterranean, a place where goods, ideas, and cultures constantly converge. The history of Leptis Magna is also a history of endless conquest and change. After being absorbed by the Roman Empire, the city flourished even more, becoming a model urban center with grand baths, arenas, and imposing palaces. However, after its golden age, the city's fortunes began to change as Leptis Magna fell into the hands of invading armies. First came the devastation by the Vandals, followed by the fierce battles of the Byzantine Empire, and finally the conquest of the Arabs, all leaving their mark on the stones of this place, remnants of a time of turmoil. But what makes Leptis Magna even more mysterious is its fate in the modern era. When European nations began their feverish quest for Oriental antiquities, hundreds of granite columns, reliefs, and intricate architectural details were dismantled and shipped off to palaces and museums in England and France. A part of the ancient city's soul was scattered and dispersed, so that today, those who visit Leptis Magna find only scattered ruins among the sun and winds of the desert. Through thousands of years, Leptis Magna has retained a strange beauty, both desolate and contemplative. Each crumbling stone, each broken column holds stories of a once glorious civilization swept away by the tide of history. Though much of the site has been destroyed, Leptis Magna remains a vivid testament to the upheavals of its era, and a reminder of the fragility of achievements that once seemed everlasting. The unidentified shipwreck in North Carolina. Along the wild shores of the Outer Banks in North Carolina, there is an old shipwreck that, from time to time, unexpectedly emerges and then disappears again beneath the pounding waves and shifting sand. The story of this shipwreck has stirred the curiosity of both locals and archaeologists every time the tides sweep away the covering sand, revealing the rotting timbers that remain from a maritime tragedy hundreds of years old. Although the true identity of the vessel has yet to be confirmed, researchers believe it may very well be the remains of the Metropolis, a passenger and cargo ship that sank in January 1878. At that time, the Metropolis was on a voyage from Philadelphia to Brazil when disaster struck off the coast of North Carolina. There were a total of 245 people on board, and the catastrophic sinking claimed 85 lives, making it one of the region's worst maritime disasters. What is especially notable is that this tragedy helped change the course of America's coastal rescue history. The sinking of the Metropolis, which occurred just 2 months after the loss of the USS Huron in the same waters, triggered a wave of public outrage and forced Congress to take action. As a result, the network of life-saving stations along the coast was expanded and improved, and rescue personnel received better training, ushering in a new era for the protection of those at sea. To this day, the identity of this shipwreck remains a great question in the heart of the ocean. Each time it reappears after a major storm, archaeologists resume their efforts to verify its story, comparing it to insurance records and historical documents in hopes of shedding more light on its true origin. While the final answer is still elusive, the tale of this mysterious shipwreck continues to remind later generations of the ever-present dangers at sea, as well as a pivotal turning point in America's history of maritime rescue. The Aberdeen Witch Prison, Scotland. In the heart of the ancient city of Aberdeen, Scotland, St. Mary's Chapel once held within its walls a dark chapter of history that not everyone knows about. In the 16th and 17th centuries, at the height of the witch hunts, fear and fanaticism turned this once sacred place of prayer into a cold prison, confining the fates of dozens of women and some men accused of witchcraft. A single small iron ring embedded deep in the stone wall is enough to evoke memories of those haunting days, when victims were chained, subjected to torture, left in the cold, and forced to await death. Those accused of witchcraft at the time were often simply victims of prejudice, fear, or conflicts within the community. They were accused of practicing mysterious arts, bringing misfortune to the village, or simply not conforming to traditional ways of life. For them, St. Mary's Chapel was no longer a sanctuary, but the final stop in their lives. A place where the cruelty of medieval society was revealed in its starkest form. Old records still detail the expenses for the witch-hunting campaigns, from money spent on wood and pitch for burning bodies to the tools of torture. Beneath the cold stone arches, people who had been mothers, daughters, wives were held in utter fear, waiting for their final sentence in freezing solitude. Most were condemned to death, burned alive before crowds as a brutal warning to anyone who dared defy the prevailing beliefs of the time. Today, St. Mary's Chapel still stands, quietly reminding future generations of a ruthless period in history when fear, superstition, and fanaticism forced innocent people to pay with their lives. The remnants that remain here are not only evidence of the severity of the old society, but also a lasting reminder of the importance of compassion and justice in the modern world. the image of the flying serpent in Egypt and Mesoamerica. In the history of humanity, there are few symbols that appear as strangely and consistently in two great civilizations, with no known connection as the image of the winged serpent god. In ancient Egypt, the goddess Isis and other deities associated with snakes were often depicted with broad wings, symbolizing protective power and supernatural strength linked to the lineage of the pharaoh. Meanwhile, in Mesoamerica, Quetzalcoatl, the feathered serpent god of the Aztecs, was not only a symbol of creation and rebirth, but also the embodiment of wisdom and mysterious power. What astonishes researchers is that, despite being separated by half the globe and having no evidence of cultural contact, both civilizations developed nearly identical divine imagery. Both Isis and Quetzalcoatl are associated with the image of a flying or feathered serpent, representing the harmony between heaven and earth, between the divine world and humanity. Rituals of worship, legends of protection, creation, or destruction all place the winged serpent at the center, creating a lasting myth that has endured for thousands of years. Scientists still debate the reasons behind this strange coincidence. Some theories suggest that the serpent may be a symbol intrinsically linked to the primal instincts of humans, representing power, transformation, and the capacity for rebirth. When wings or feathers are added, the symbol is further deified, elevating the snake from a creature of the earth to a messenger between two worlds. Yet, to this day, the mystery of the origin and deeper meaning of the flying serpent image in both ancient Egypt and the civilizations of Mesoamerica remains without a convincing explanation. This similarity not only puzzles archaeologists, but also raises many questions about the hidden connections in human thought and belief from the earliest time. It is truly one of the greatest mysteries of human history, leaving a profound mark on global culture and fueling the imagination of all who are fascinated by the unknown stories of our past. The lost shipbuilding technology of the Minoan. In the heart of the ancient Mediterranean, the Minoan civilization on the island of Crete was once hailed as the masters of the sea, thanks to their ability to build ships whose mysteries remain unsolved to this day. Around 3,500 years ago, while most civilizations in the world still relied on primitive rafts and boats, the Minoans possessed advanced shipbuilding techniques, creating sturdy vessels capable of conquering long voyages across the stormy sea. The secret to their success lay in a perfect combination of inherited experience and relentless creativity. The Minoans not only knew how to make use of valuable timber, but also invented a unique composite material from linen fabric combined with resin. Layers of linen were soaked in resin and then pressed tightly onto the wooden hull, forming a flexible coating that made the vessel completely watertight and highly resistant to the harshness of the sea. Modern researchers have rated the waterproofing and protective qualities of this material as comparable to today's reinforced concrete. Beyond materials, their joinery technique was another key factor that set Minoan ships apart. The wooden pieces were cut and fitted together with precision, connected by sturdy wooden pegs without any need for iron nails, yet ensuring absolute solidity. To enhance durability, they also added more resin to the joints and the entire outer hull, turning the vessel into a single unified structure, able to resist the corrosive effects of seawater over decades of use. Perhaps the most astonishing thing is that these sophisticated techniques suddenly disappeared after the decline of the Minoan civilization, falling into oblivion for thousands of years. It was not until the 20th century, when modern engineers studied archaeological samples, that the world gradually came to appreciate the value of these lost technologies. In fact, some of the materials and methods used by the Minoans have even inspired advancements in modern shipbuilding and aerospace industries. It is only through the remaining relics that we are now able to recognize the scale and pioneering spirit of the Minoans in the history of ship construction. Their achievements are not only a testament to the talent and intellect of a people, but also a reminder that great accomplishments can be forgotten if we do not know how to preserve and cherish the heritage of the past. The Gate to Hades. Amid the wild Mani Peninsula in southern Greece, the ancient city of Tainarum lies hidden on the Mediterranean coast, nestled between towering cliffs and the ceaseless crashing of waves. This place has long been infamous under a haunting name, the Gate to Hades. According to Greek mythology, it was here that people believed there existed a mysterious passage leading directly into the underworld ruled by Hades, where the souls of the dead would cross over to face their final judgment. The ancient Greeks not only regarded this as a sacred land, but also believed that this gate was a bridge between two worlds, between the realm of the living and the realm of the dead, between the light of life and the darkness of death. Legend holds that the seaside cave of Tenerum was once the site of mysterious rituals. It was believed that only here could the living communicate with the souls of the departed, seeking guidance or sending messages of sorrow to those who were no longer present in this world. It is also here, according to legend, that Heracles once passed through the gates of the underworld to drag the three-headed dog Cerberus back to the world of the living, completing one of his most famous 12 labors. Not only a place of worship for gods like Poseidon and Apollo, Tenerum also held a special place in the Greek consciousness. The ancients believed that after one's final breath, the soul would pass through the gates of the underworld, drifting on the legendary river Styx before being judged by the gods, either sent to Elysium, the eternal land of happiness, or condemned to Tartarus, the dark and torturous place reserved for the wicked. Today, the traces of ancient Tenerum have been largely erased by time. The exact location of the cave remains a mystery to archaeologists and history enthusiasts alike. Nevertheless, the legend of the gate to Hades endures, lingering on moss-covered cliffs and echoing in the wind and waves of the Mani Peninsula. The secrets of the passage between two worlds continue to inspire generations in search of answers, ensuring that Tenerum remains one of the most sacred and mysterious lands of ancient Greek civilization. The Chalk Horse. On the lush green hills of Oxfordshire, there is an image that has become part of the memory of countless generations. The chalk horse on Uffington Hill, an ancient symbol that has existed quietly for 3,000 years. Seen from afar, it is easy to recognize the strange shape of this horse, with its gracefully elongated body, raised tail, and slender legs as if it were striding across the hillside. This enormous figure is nearly the size of a football field, created by scraping away the grass on the hill to reveal the bright white chalk underneath, standing out against the natural green of the English countryside. What is remarkable is that, for 3 millennia, the image of the horse has been preserved almost perfectly, untouched by the passage of time. The secret lies in an ancient ritual that has continued from antiquity to the present day. Each year, on a special occasion, people from neighboring villages gather at Uffington Hill, bringing wooden mallets, buckets of water, and fresh pieces of chalk. Together, they clear away the grass, replenish the chalk to keep the horse bright white, and maintain an invisible connection between past and present. This ritual has become an indispensable cultural tradition, a symbol of community, unity, and pride in the heritage passed down by ancestors. As for its origin, archaeologists believe that it may be the work of the ancient Celts, a people renowned for their artistry and legends bound to nature. Many theories suggest that the horse is more than just a hill figure, it carries deep symbolic meaning. In Celtic art, horses were often seen as sacred beings, companions of the sun god on the journey across the sky with the chariot of light. Perhaps the Uffington White Horse is also a reminder of strength, freedom, and the aspiration to reach values that transcend all boundaries of the ancient world. Today, although no one knows for sure whose hands first created the horse, the story of the Uffington Chalk Horse lives on through each generation. It stands as proof of the endurance of tradition, of love for the homeland, and as a message from the past that, even as time passes by, the truest spiritual values will always endure along with the land and sky. The giant walls in the forests of New Zealand. Deep within the endless green forests of the Kaimanawa region in New Zealand stands a colossal stone wall that leaves anyone who witnesses it utterly astonished. Reminiscent of a ruin from a lost city in the Amazon, this wall is actually hidden far within the wild woodlands of this island nation in the South Pacific. Standing before this massive stack of stones, one can truly feel its scale, far beyond the reach of imagination. According to many assessments, most of the wall's height remains buried beneath the forest floor, meaning what appears before our eyes is only the visible portion of a structure many times larger. What is most remarkable is that the age of this structure seems to far surpass recorded history regarding the presence of humans in New Zealand. According to Maori legend, their people only arrived in this land about 800 years ago, yet surveys suggest that the wall may have existed for 2,000 years, and there are even theories proposing its true age is much, much older. This difference in timeline has sparked lively debate among archaeologists, historians, and even within the Maori community. For them, the claim that an ancient civilization existed before the arrival of the Maori is not just a historical question, it touches upon issues of pride and national identity. Therefore, any suggestion that others arrived first or possessed superior technology has always faced strong opposition. Some believe that this construction is the work of a pre-Polynesian civilization, a group that set foot in New Zealand in ancient times and left behind this magnificent mark. In fact, many theories boldly claim that ancient people here may have mastered the techniques of transporting and assembling massive stones using lifting devices, or even early forms of electrical technology. If that is true, this would be among the strongest evidence showing that humanity once possessed knowledge far beyond our modern understanding. On the other hand, geologists offer an entirely different perspective. According to them, these massive stones are nothing more than the products of nature, formed over hundreds of thousands of years of geological chain. As explained by geologist Philip Andrews, this rock formation is the result of slowly cooling volcanic lava, which caused the stone slabs to develop natural cracks, creating surfaces that merely seem to be man-made. Therefore, all debates about artificial origins or ancient civilization intervention remain only as hypotheses. To this day, the giant wall hidden deep in the old forests of New Zealand remains an unsolved mystery. It lies quietly amid the majestic wilderness, both challenging human curiosity and serving as the starting point for countless questions about what ancient ancestors might have achieved. Whether a wonder crafted by human hands or a miracle of nature, this structure continues to inspire scientists to search for the final answer to a mystery that has never been resolved in the history of mankind. The mysterious terraces of Moray, Peru. Located in the sacred valley of the Inca, Moray is unlike any other ancient structure in South America. Viewed from a distance, the site appears as enormous bowls arranged in concentric circles, each terrace descending deeper and growing smaller toward the center. Rather than being the ruins of an ancient city, Moray is a mysterious system of agricultural terraces that has left both scientists and visitors in awe of the ingenuity of the Inca civilization. The most important discovery about Moray lies in the subtle climatic differences between each level of the terraces. Researchers have found that the temperature between the highest and lowest terraces can differ by nearly 15 degrees Celsius. This allowed the Inca to simultaneously experiment with and cultivate a wide variety of crops, a concept much like a modern agricultural laboratory, but one that existed hundreds of years ago. Although time has cast a faint layer of dust over Moray, archaeological evidence still shows that the Inca deliberately brought soil from various regions to this site for crop experiment. They created a series of microclimates, controlling sunlight, temperature, and humidity to optimize the selection and adaptation of crop varieties suitable for different localities across their vast empire. This may have been where they developed and domesticated varieties of corn, potatoes, and many staple crops that the world knows today. Yet Moray still holds many secrets that remain unsolved. We still do not fully understand how the Inca used these terraces or what achievements they attained in experimental agriculture. The very existence of Moray stands as proof of a brilliance far ahead of its time, while also hinting at the remarkable accomplishments of the Inca civilization before it vanished into the flow of history. Human body size changed with the climate. The exploration of humanity's ancestors always raises profound questions about our origins and the process of evolution. Recently, a team of scientists conducted a study of more than 300 ancient human fossils collected from various regions around the world, hoping to explain why humans have developed such a wide diversity of body shapes and brain sizes. The results revealed a remarkable connection between environment and human development over hundreds of thousands of years. The fossils analyzed showed that people living in cold regions often had much larger bodies than their counterparts in warmer climate. A massive and sturdy physique was a natural advantage, allowing them to retain heat more effectively and endure long periods of cold, especially when energy from food became incredibly precious. This is the same principle we see today among animals in polar regions, where every extra gram of fat becomes a shield against the harsh, freezing temperatures. But the findings did not stop there. When the scientists compared fossils found in wide, sparsely wooded, predator-rich environments such as the African savannas and grasslands, they discovered that the ancient humans living there often had exceptionally well-developed brains. Wide open spaces meant a constantly changing food supply, and hunting large prey required close cooperation, careful planning, and an ongoing ability to learn and adapt to nature's unexpected challenges. It was precisely this ever-shifting environment that drove our ancestors to develop their intellect rapidly, ushering in the age of large and endlessly creative brain. Researchers noted that living conditions not only influenced the outward appearance of the body, but also had a profound impact on the structure and size of the brain. Those living in cold places needed strong, solid bodies to survive, while those living in vast grasslands needed sharp intelligence for hunting, tool-making, and working with others in the community. Every change in climate, vegetation, and surrounding wildlife became a driving force, pushing humanity to continuously adapt and innovate in order to survive and develop. The story of human evolution is not simply the passage of time, but a journey of conquest and transformation as our ancestors confronted the relentless challenges of the natural world. The fossils that still lie scattered across distant lands stand as vivid evidence of that extraordinary resilience and adaptability, reminding us that in every drop of human blood today, the spirit and ambition of our forebears still echo, no matter how much the climate and the world around us may change. If you found these mysterious stories interesting, please leave your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you won't miss out on our next discoveries. See you in the next video.